Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Banished Part 3. As always, my name is eckohour, and I will be the disembodied voice hosting this Let's Play. In our previous episode, we went through a rough period of our town's development. We were focused on getting our people fed, and after we had gotten through our first winter, we were focusing on setting up a reliable system of food and starting to grow our very, very small town. I've done a little bit of tweaking since we last had our video. I felt like basically most of what I had done was just continuing to do what you had already seen, so there's really no need to show that. Started off with 2 farms. All I've really done is expand the farming system. We've got a lot more fields now and a bunch of orchards. Are we farming all of them quite yet? No, we are not. What we have right now is a bunch of orchards and fields set up, ready to be worked when the time comes, and I will need to work them, but for now, they are untended to. That's what this little stop sign means. It means that they are currently not being worked. Right now we're working these 4 fields and a couple orchards to get us some ale at this ale house here. I believe it's one of the only new things I have set up is an ale house that will give us some ale. Ale can be made from a variety of different crops. I don't think we have any of the field or farm crops necessary to make ale. I think you need... Yeah, really the only farm crop that you can use to make ale is wheat. Most other ales need to come from things grown in orchards. Fortunately, we have cherries as a... we have cherry seeds, which means that we can produce ale, which will keep our people happy. Ale is also a good export, but we will talk about that more, hopefully, this episode. What I've also done is just kind of grow this side a little bit. I added another forester next to the forester down here. I also set up a hunting cabin to get us some leather. So really all we've been doing is expanding upon things. As I had mentioned in the previous episode, hunting also relies on forests, so putting them next to a forester is always a good idea because foresters will make sure that there's always plenty of forest around for your hunting. Gatherer's hut would also be a nice thing to put over here, but as I don't really need any more food than I have right now, I'm not really going to put one down. That would be a waste of resources at this point. As you can see, my population has grown. We are at 59, I'm sorry, adults and 6 children, I believe. The reason we have so few number of children is because I kind of let things get a little out of hand in terms of, I believe we ran out of food for a while there, and that's why I've made all of these since then, so food shouldn't be a problem anymore, but I believe most of the people that died off were our children, so we're going to go ahead and start playing. Now what I'm anticipating right now is we're going to run into an issue here, where because we have so few children but such a high population, we're eventually going to have some people dying of old age and people not really here to replace them, which is going to be a problem. What I have done is I've also set up a mine over here to start getting us some iron because eventually we'll be needing more tools. I'm also building a quarry right here to start getting us a supply of stone, which we need for building. I've also added some animal pens. Unfortunately, in this mode, which I believe is on a normal start, you don't get any sorts of animals to herd. So you have to gain animals via trade. They're very expensive. For now, though, we've got them here. So in anticipation of eventually setting up a trade depot, which we're going to have to build either on this river, which is very claustrophobic, and I'm kind of worried about building on this river. I could build one right here, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, one can be built right here. Yes. So I might have this be our... Yeah, see, we just had someone die of old age. We had a laborer replace them. I'm keeping a nice backlog of laborers, but unfortunately we're going to need more more children, I'm sorry, if we are going to have a viable population. I'm going to go ahead and put down a trading post here because I feel like it's time that we start to trade with the outside world, and you'll see what that is in a second. I've also put down some stone paths here. This will make people travel a little bit faster. put down a large stone path over here. I've done that by just running two stone paths along next to each other. This is kind of in anticipation of a main road. For now, I don't really know where I'm going to build my main town. I was thinking maybe having it down here in this area, and have this be my main population center. Work some of the areas around here maybe, and over here on the mini-map for food. Maybe start to rely on fishing a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure. And of course I'm probably going to make this whole area up here into more food as well, so we might just rely on food imports. But of course the most important thing is to get more children. I think we've started to peak out on our population numbers here. I think what I do want to do, now that I'm thinking about it, is add a well over here. Wells are very useful for when fires break out, as I've said before. And I do plan on making this a bit of a extension of the population so that they can work the farms and also the forestry over here. Firewood is low. Yeah, I feel like we probably should get another firewood producer up, as I believe we've only got 2 set up at the moment. I think we're about due for another. So I might build one over here by these guys. Yeah, well, we're not even doing that great on logs as it is. Let's add another person to the forester task. We're only producing about 128 logs a tick here. So we're definitely going to need more logs. Question is, where do we build them? I was thinking maybe on this side. This is a nice little nook over here. Might make it another forester. Problem is, how do we get over there? So we're going to have to probably build a tunnel here, which is going to take a long time. It may not address our need quickly enough, but fortunately, that's what we're stuck with. Yeah, we just don't have enough logs as it is right now. Probably doesn't help that I'm building a bunch of things all of a sudden that necessitated a lot of logs. That probably was a bad call on my part. Thankfully, however, our dock is already complete. That was very quick. But now we have that ready. We have a couple more houses done. That was rather quickly done. A couple more already being built. And the well already being done. So making good progress. You can see there's a world of difference when you have a don't have a bunch of clears lined up, but I do actually want to line up a large clear here just to get us some more wood. We'll start clearing out some of this area right here. Do that quickly, hopefully quickly enough to get back into the swing of things. We're already starting to lose more people to old age here. Do we have enough room for a trader? Doesn't particularly look like it. Oh, we have more than enough builders. That's half the reason. Alright, yeah, so we'll have a trader here. We'll do 2 traders. And then what we do is, okay, so we've built our trading post here, and occasionally, throughout the game, you'll have a merchant show up. I'm going to pause real quick as I describe this. You'll have a merchant show up and pull up next to your trade port here, and what he will do is he will have some goods in his stores, and if he has goods that you particularly want, then you will have to barter with him. There's no currency in this game. Everything has a particular value, and you trade with him to try and kind of reach a mutually beneficial kind of thing. So maybe he wants some food, you give him some food, and he can give you a couple cows, and from there you can raise a whole crop of cows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the stocks of, it's going to be quicker if I just type it in. Right now, I'm not really producing much resources outside of food. I've got plenty of food, which is ironic given the last episode, but I've got plenty of food, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stock up on some of the food that we have been producing, and that way we can at least have some sort of trading good, and maybe, just maybe, someone might have some useful stuff to trade to us, and we'll have some food to trade back. So what you do is, you gotta get your trading post, you go into your inventory, you set the desired amount of particular products. As a matter of fact, I believe I'm also going to want to have some rum stocked up here, because they are worth a good deal. So you set the desired amount here. The traders that you have assigned will go out and collect those items from storehouses and stock up the trading depot with the desired products. Right now I set it to 1,000 cabbage, 1,000 fish, and 200 ale. So they'll go to the storehouses, and assuming there's stuff there, they'll bring it back, set it here in the storehouse. What will happen is, when a guy comes along, he'll dock right here, and his wares will be shown on the left here under the trade tab, while your wares will be shown here in the right. And then what you do is you mark how many of his things you want, and you will give him what you have and what he's willing to take, and then trade. And assuming that you have at least matched or gone over the amount that he desires, the trade will commence. What you can also do is set things to auto purchase here at this menu. So basically, just whenever something shows up, you just tell it to whenever a merchant arrives. Oh gosh, whenever a merchant arrives, I want you to buy however many of this if he has it. You can also place certain orders. So if a merchant is, say, a animal merchant, so he brings herds of animals and he's only got cows, and you want some chickens, you can tell him, hey, bring me some chickens next time, and next time he visits, he will bring you some chickens. So it's great. Actually wanted to make sure we have a blacksmith. We have a couple of these. Do we have much leather? There is a way to check your total inventory in the game. Unfortunately, you have to build a particular structure. You might be wondering, oh, I wonder how much cabbage I have in total. Well, you can click on each individual building and see how much cabbage is in them. But there's a town hall that you can build under this tab right here. It's a town hall. It's a very large structure, very expensive structure, but once you build it, it tabulates a lot of information. Makes it easier to kind of run your total inventory, see. It'll show you graphs of how much food you've been using versus how much you're producing. It's a lot easier to manage your town, but it's a big structure to build and something you probably don't want to start building until the late game. Also, building a town hall starts to attract nomads to your city, which can greatly increase the population of your city. It can be a great boon, but it can also be a great burden for two reasons. Nomads, obviously, being a population boost, also could demand a lot of food. And if your food stores are not a surplus, if you're just breaking even and suddenly you have 30 more villagers, you're going to start having some serious food issues very fast. The other thing is, nomads can also bring disease to your town and start an outbreak of cholera or black fever or what have you. So that can also be an issue. I'm going to go ahead and unpause it here, get back into the swing of things. Oh, those houses are built already. Oh, we're getting children born. Good. So my next order of business, now that I've got a trade post set up, is to start to solidify my production here. Now, I already said that I'm probably going to want another firewood guy, but actually now that I'm thinking about it, I think with about 60 people, actually I think one firewood guy only produces for about 20, so probably going to want another one. So let's go ahead and I completely forget where he is. Woodcutter, there we go. Let's go ahead and place one over here. That way we can not be in such dire straits. Ah, the heck with it. We'll just put him over here. We will put him facing you. There we go. Okay. That way he produces more firewood and everybody will be happy. Another person died of old age, so we're definitely going to need more children than what we have right now. On the other hand of things, I also want another cherry orchard. And we'll put 2 more farmers on that. That'll take the sad thing about orchards over fields. Fields you can grow one season. So let's say it's springtime and you're about ready, your field just came up, you can set it to its crop, they'll immediately start to plant it, you can harvest it that season already, things are great, everything will be good, and everybody smiles, yay, we have food this season. If you set up an orchard, Orchards take about 3 years, I think, to grow because they are trees. So they have to come in and plant the seeds. The seeds have to grow into full fruit-bearing trees. The other side of things is these trees will eventually die. So occasionally you'll have some trees fall over in the orchard, and at which point they'll need to clear the stump, grow another orchard. So orchards are actually not as efficient as fields. But on the other hand, orchards are very necessary for growing ale, which is a amazing trade product, and it's also a very important thing for keeping your people happy. As a matter of fact, let's look over here. We've already got all of the cabbage and all of the fish that we need, but none of the ale, because the people drink ale faster than we can get it. That's okay, though. We're going to get more cherries out there so that our tavern here can start producing for us some ale. As a matter of fact, he's already got some cherries in his inventory, and he should start producing stuff very soon. Other than that, looks like we're squared away on herbs. Food is starting to come in because it's the summer, and we've already... Actually, yeah, we were able to harvest this stuff fast. I guess we had an early spring this year. This is very good. We get children being born. Everything is going great. And hopefully this episode I can show you guys a merchant. That'll be good for teaching purposes. Can we get any more houses? There we go, one right there. So I'm putting some houses over here. It doesn't look too pretty, but the nice thing is having these houses right here means that they'll probably be auto-assigned to... For one, I wanted some people close by to these foresters over here. As a matter of fact, if I go over to this button right here, it shows paths. I'm going to pause it real quick. I can click on this house right here. It'll show me where the residence of this house works. So, as you can see, if I didn't have the house here, if I didn't have these houses here, someone would have to come all the way from over here to work at these forest things. Because I built some houses right next to it, they can travel just across this bridge here, go right up to the foresters and the hunting cabin. So I think it's, yeah, farmers over here, some more of these guys, all sorts of good stuff. So, good, good, good. This tunnel has been built, so we can actually get another forester built and constructed here. Let's see. Forester Lodge. Put yourself right here. And what we'll do is we'll also set the stone clear, because we can always use more stone, and iron clear. And the reason I'm doing that, now, the nice thing about foresters is when you place them down, as I said, they'll plant and grow trees and then cut them down. They will also clear out stone and iron that is in the way, but they do it at a very slow and gradual process, and it kind of reduces the efficiency at which your forester produces stone. So it's always probably a better idea to just clear that stone and iron out automatically, set that as a priority for your people, and you know, just make things run a little bit more smoothly. It's a lot about efficiency in this game. It's also a lot of frustration, as you heard me in the last episode. I was getting pretty frustrated at some of the things. He has patched it. He's improved some issues with compatibility, some game crashes. People are very opinionated about this game, I've also noticed. A lot of people are weighing in on what they think could be improved, what they want to see changed. I always think it's good for people to weigh in and kind of give their opinion about what should be done to a certain extent, because you know, that's kind of how a community works. You know, it's always kind of important to have that dialogue between the developers and between the players, because honestly the players are what's going to make you money as a developer, and if you ignore them then you get a lot of PO'd people and people stop buying your game. Now this guy is one person developer, and it's obvious that his intention when he went out and made this game was just to make a game that people would have fun playing and something that he just wanted to do. So my expectation is that on the one hand he's not really looking to piss anybody off with his game. I'm sure he'd love to make everybody happy with his game, but on the other hand he is a one-person developer, and you know, at the end of the day it's his game, not a person's game. So I like to see that people have their opinions and, you know, their ideas on what they think could make the game better, or what, you know, what they would think would make it a more fun game to play. But at the end of the day, people have to understand that, you know, maybe he didn't set out to make a military game. You know, like a lot of people want military and they, oh, I want to see soldiers. And even I mentioned, you know, it would be cool to maybe see the ability to like set up walls and garrisons and maybe defend yourself against another town or compete with another town for resources. I don't know. But that doesn't mean I, you know, expect that to happen. And no one should, I think, expect that to happen from the developer. They should just expect him to make the game that he wants to make. And if you want it, if it's a game that you want, buy it. If it's a game that you don't like, go find another game that is more in line with what you're looking for. There are actually plenty of games out there that involve a similar kind of aspect like this, that mandate you to defend your town. Anno is a great example of a you know, where you build. Oh, real quickly, I'll say that because the traders are set up. Anno is a great example of where you have to build up your town and build up buildings and set tasks and everything, but at the same time defend your town against outside forces. There's other examples like towns, but real quickly, our merchant is here. Let's see if we can actually trade with him. Yes, we can. So, this is a food merchant. What he is willing to offer us is some food. Unfortunately, I don't think he brings seeds. No, he does not. We can request certain types of food. Varieties of food is important for keeping your people happy and healthy, so I'm actually going to happily take all of the stores that he has. He's got berries. We don't have berries. He's got chestnuts. I don't think we have chestnuts. And he's got pumpkin. I don't think we have that either. So we'll take everything he's got, all 1,500 of it, and now the cost is the approximate trade value of that specific product. So food is very cheap. It's only about one thing per food. Having seeds or livestock is very expensive, however, but just getting the food itself, not as expensive. Don't ask me why you can't just plant a chestnut once you've gotten it. It doesn't work that way. You actually need to have chestnut seeds, but we don't have. He doesn't have any seeds. He just has food. So we've got all that. We decided to queue up all the food that he has currently, which, because it's only 1 for 1, it comes out to about 1,500. We have about 1,000 fish and 1,000 cabbage, so what I'll do is, it's really easy to get fish here right now, so we'll go ahead and give him 1,000 fish and 500 cabbage, and that comes out to about even. I could also give him the ale, which has a much higher trade value for 1, 8 for 1 instead of 1 for 1, but as it is, we're not producing particularly too much ale right now, so I'm going to hold on to it for something potentially more valuable that we could trade that for. So we'll go ahead and trade. Now what happens is, now that we've made that trade, in our inventory we have the foodstuffs that we traded from him. Now, because this is set to 0, that means that this stuff does not need to be hoarded here. So what will happen is kind of the reverse. So because if I set cabbage to 1,000, that means that people will go out into the storehouses and carry enough to fill up 1,000 here. Because there's none here and there is stuff here, what people will do is some of my villagers will come and gather the food that doesn't belong here and take that back to storehouses. So that gives us about 1,500 units of food, which is great because we're about to hit winter here, so that brings our number from 5,600 in store at the moment. That'll bring it up to about 7,000, so that'll make everything all great. And as you can see, snow is already setting in, and we look to be in good shape for the winter. We've got plenty of iron and stone and wood, decent bit of firewood. I think we'll start to run out here as winter drags on. Plenty of medicine and herbs, tools. Don't have clothes. I'm gonna have to start working on that here soon. And stored alcohol. Actually, we should be building a hunter here, I think. Get us a little bit more in the way of leather, so we can start producing some clothes. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So that we have that queued up to build. Got plenty of food. Got this guy queued up to build. Actually needing a lot of builders right now. Oh, and we're going to start running into this problem again. So we noticed that we're out of laborers, which is a problem. Is there anybody that we can take off of things? This is what I meant earlier about the fact that we had a very small amount of children, means that eventually they probably won't become adults as fast as people die out. So it's all about, as I said, maintaining a balance. Speaking of balance, we'll probably run into that issue here soon when I introduce the next aspect of Banished, which is education. Okay, so if you look down here at the population number here, you'll see that we have 60 adults, 9 children, 0 students. The reason we have no students right now is because we do not have a school. What it means to have a student is it's a gap that kind of goes in between things. When you start out the game, what you're going to have is just adults and children. Adults give birth to children when they move into each other over a certain amount of time, assuming they're happy and there's enough room for the population to live in. What will happen is the adults will have a kid, and then when the kid reaches age 10, I believe, they will be considered to have come of age, and they will take on a job, move in with someone else, and start having kids of their own. However, if you have a kid that goes directly from being a kid to being an adult without ever being educated, will gain the trait being uneducated. As we click on this person right here, her name is Vanny. So we follow her around. We look down here. So let's just tack that on. We look at her status here. It says educated, no. The reason she is not educated is because we do not have a school. A school educates your people, obviously. And the whole role of education is to make your citizens more efficient at whatever job it is that they do. So, if they go through the education process, they'll come out and they'll be a lot better at farming. They'll be quicker at it, they'll get more out of it. It's just better as a whole. You want people to be educated to get more bang for your buck. Again, as I said before, it's all about efficiency. That's a big part of efficiency there, is making sure that your people are educated. The problem is, when you educate your people, it takes them longer. They don't become an adult at age 10. They go through a student process, which I think keeps them a student until they're 16. So another 6 years of growth for that particular individual, which means that you kind of have to be careful when you build a school, because everybody will become students, but then it'll take longer for your people to start being replaced, so you have to be wary of the fact that you're probably going to have a bit of a manpower issue right at first when you get educated, and then hopefully, usually, assuming you have a surplus of workers to kind of compensate for the manpower issue, the education will start to pay off. Each school, as you can see, we have a merchant coming in here. Each school will educate about 20 students per school building. So as you can see, I've only got about 10 students right now, so I'm only going to need one. Ooh, hello. Only going to need one school system for right now. This person has cattle. Cattle are good, but they are very expensive. You see, he has 6 heads of cattle right now, but they are 800 a cattle. So that brings it to about 1,600 for just 2 cattle, versus it's about the same price as the 1,500 units of food that I got before. The reason being is because you actually get a renewable resource here with the cattle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tell him okay, and I'm going to trade with him. Oh wait, no, I cannot trade with him because he refuses to accept any of my wares. Well, darn. I don't know what he would take. Would he only take cattle on my own? I don't have cattle to give. No, because I can't store cattle in here. I don't know what he wants. Clothes, maybe? Tools? Ugh. That's a bummer. Cattle are a really good source of both beef, excuse me, and leather. So it would be useful to have cattle. We would stick them up here in this pen. this large pen that we have, and they would start to have more cattle of their own, and cattle babies, and plenty of cattle, and then we could start actually growing, or not growing, we could start actually producing some clothes. The reason being is I don't really think we have much in the way of leather right now, and we do not have any over here. Nope. Well, some. Okay, some venison. Well, we're gonna have to pass up on the leather for now, unfortunately, so I guess we'll just dismiss him, because he won't take anything that we have. He'll sail off there, and hopefully we can get another one. The nice thing about dismissing, from what I've seen, is if he has nothing that you want, or you have nothing you can trade to him, dismiss the merchant. That way he won't stick around, and there's more of a chance that you'll have another merchant show up. Okay, so we're getting food in. Right, I said I was gonna build a school. Alright, so we'll come over here. We'll find the school here. No, that's a chapel. That's the book. There we go. Schoolhouse. What we're going to do is we're going to put it right over here. Now, we should start, once it's done being built and we have a teacher, we should have students starting to arrive at our schoolhouse. Seems our blacksmith is done doing his work here. I think what else we're going to do is we're also going to build a tailor. As I mentioned before, the tailor produces coats. He does this from leather and from wool. Unfortunately, we don't have sheep to produce wool, and we don't have cows to produce leather, but you can also get leather from hunting. So leather you can get from two resources, from hunting and from cows. Wool you can only get either from trading or from sheep. We don't have any sort of livestock right now, so we really can't get ourselves the sheep that we need. So we gotta just kind of hope that our leather income from our one hunting post, and I'm working on a second one up here right now, we gotta hope that the leather income from those two things is enough to actually make us some coats to keep people warm and efficient during the winter time. Still got a couple more houses to build too. Looks like our food income is okay though. This orchard is not large enough to yield cherries just yet. And I don't know why this guy's complaining that he doesn't have enough cherries. You have plenty of cherries. You have 19 whole cherries there. I'm not sure. I kind of get the feeling that he does... oh, that's not good. Winter started very early. Middle of autumn started that winter, so this is going to be a rough winter food-wise for us. Unfortunately. I think they're getting a decent bit of crops. Okay, so we maxed out to about 6,300 there. That's could be worse. Ooh, I hope this isn't what I think it is. Yeah, it is exactly what I think it is. Okay. So in the last episode, I mentioned that sometimes you kind of have a glitch happen on some of your farms. And this can really hurt your town through no fault of your own, just from the game glitching, and I hope that the maker sees this and kind of addresses this issue. Sometimes you will have a farm that will have that people will be working, and then it usually only seems to happen during the early winters, when winter comes in, but they'll just leave a random bushel here sitting on the farm, and what happens is winter will go by, that bushel will sit there, the food isn't bad, they'll eventually collect it. The problem is springtime will come around and they will plant plants on all of these farms, but this one farm will still be locked in harvest mode. And so they won't plant anything here. And they will wait, and they will wait, and spring will go by, summer will go by, until finally it's autumn time, and it's come time to make the harvest, and they'll gather that one bushel, and they'll take it back, and that's it. And so basically you have a wasted farm for this entire season. Now, a way around it right now is set it to non-work, so I'll shut it off right there. What I'll do is I'll set this crop to work, and this was cabbage, so we'll set this to be grown. That way, our people aren't just jerking around, doing absolutely nothing. They'll come over here and work this one in lieu of this one, And then when it comes harvest time, we'll reactivate this one and we'll gather the 1 bushel, and that way everything will be okay, and we'll all go back to square one. But if you're already working all of your fields, you can't really do that go around. That only works if you have extra fields like I have left for myself here. So I hope he addresses that, because this isn't like the player being dumb and mismanaging things. This is just the game glitching up in a way, and I know he's working hard, and I hope he sees this, or if he doesn't see this, I at least hope he's aware of it, maybe working to try and remedy it, because it's frustrating. It's frustrating to have your town relying on food, and then the food doesn't come in, not due to a random game event like you know, the crops failing, but simply because the game glitched and, you know, they just refused to work that plot. So hopefully I'll remember to reactivate that come harvest time, and that should get around the problem. But for now, oh well, that's kind of annoying. What I've also done, I'm building a really large bridge here. And the reason for that is we're going to have a lot of products going here, and I didn't exactly maximize my efficiency on this stretch here of this farmland. So people are going to be breeding. People are going to be bringing a lot of stuff from over here. Wood, some stone, a bunch of food is probably going to be stored in the couple farmhouses that I'll eventually be putting over here. Beef from my hunting cabins. So what I did is, because it's kind of this grid of poorly managed roads and it's not a straight path, what I did is building a road all the way across here. So what they'll be able to do is just bring it down here and come straight across right to the main part of the town. It's going to be a large bridge though. It's from here to here. Yeah, it was 208 logs, so it definitely put a big dent in my log wares. It's a lot of stone, so I'll put a dent in my stone, but I think eventually it'll pay off. Yeah, see, there's another cherry thing there for my orchard as well. Oh, and a merchant has arrived. Hello, merchant. You have things to give me. Yes, you do, but nothing I have is stuff that you want. Well, darn. That is unfortunate. I could really go for some pears. Oh, boy. Alright, so springtime has come. Farming can resume. We're just gonna have to wait on our schoolhouse because we don't have many builders right now. I don't remember what they're focused on. This house, which they have yet to put anything down for. And the bridge, of course, which is going to be done here soon. Enough wood and logs, which is great. What we're going to do is set this to be stone, because this is going to be a major artery, so we definitely want plenty of speed for the people here. And I'm not talking the drugs, I mean legitimate speed. The legal, street legal speed. I'm digging myself a hole here, aren't I? I do not endorse, nor do I condone the use of drugs. Don't you do it, kids. It's bad. Don't take care of head. What am I even talking about? Anyway. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and build the roads here. I'll do some really inefficient road building, because I am not a city planner. I'm just a guy who likes games. And hopefully Eckoburg will... no, I'm dismissing you. Go away. You won't take any of my wares. And the bridge is coming along swimmingly. Eckoburg Bridge. The great bridge of the Eckoburg that's seemingly pointless, because it's just like, why couldn't we have just built kind of a road along the coast? No, because we had to build houses there and I was dumb. And because this is not buildable terrain, so we can't build a nice stretch of road along this bottom part, so might as well just build a bridge right across, right? Yeah. A tunnel. You might ask, why can't we just go through this clearing over here? Well, no, because this is a little too... Actually, they might be able to walk through that. But you can't build a road through that. They can walk through it maybe, but they can't build a road through it, so why not build a tunnel? A tunnel to the magical other side, where there are plenty of trees and stone and iron that I wish to put here. And a hunting cabin that I wish to build. Oh, I'm digging myself a hole. Anyway, still have the gatherer's hut and herbalist over here. How's the efficiency on the gatherer's hut? Still looking good. Still producing about 2,000 food a pass, which is by no means a bad thing. We'll go ahead and activate this as well. No, we'll wait. We'll wait till it's harvest season. Don't want to detract from the efficiency of the planters for the moment. Is this... Nope, I think it's got one more year left yet before it'll start producing cherries for us. That's unfortunate. Oh, hurry up and finish this. Yeah, it's 99% complete. One more bonk with the nail. There it is! Yay! Oh, hey, we got an achievement. I guess this is longer than 50 units or 25 units. I can't remember what it is. But look, there people are already carrying stuff across there because it's much faster. So that'll be great for us. Now they hopefully have moved on to building newer and better things, like this house, and hopefully the log cabin. The hunting cabin. No, not that hunting cabin, apparently. Are they working on the forester? Yes, okay. That's fine. They can work on that. We always could use more wood. Why are we not healthy? I guess we don't have enough variety of food. Eventually I'll start spacing out my food. Hopefully we can get a hold of some wheat. That'll be awesome. Love wheat. We've got a bit more villagers, so why don't we go ahead and plant a couple more cherry orchards. Can always use more cherries for our people. Go ahead and max that out. Oh man, it's going to be a rough crops this year. Doesn't look like they got too far along before they started getting harvesting. Hopefully they'll actually reap the harvest from this one and it'll go back to being efficient. Our houses have been built. Begun work over here. Yes, they have. They're starting to clear things out. Hopefully they've already cleared out all the stuff over here. Yep, they're already taking stone over to it, which is swell. It's very swell. Yes, I speak in weird words, like from the 1950s. Looks like all the stone pathways have been done here, but we're pretty low on stone. That's okay, because they can clear out all the stone over here. Which is what I told them to do. Alright, they were working on actually building up the Forester Lodge, which is great. They still got to clear out all the places over here for the hunting cabin. Not a particularly great crop this year, it seems. Yeah, we made about 1,000 less. But we have a bit more people. So maybe that is the case. We're going to set this to being pepper. That way we don't have it lined up right next to a cabbage field. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then we can assign a couple more farmers. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, unfortunately I wasn't able to get the schoolhouse built in time. Oh, someone froze to death. Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of people are freezing. What is happening? Get to your homes. Get to your homes, citizens. What were they all doing? And someone starved to death. Or froze to death. So we're having people die off. But fortunately we're having people become laborers too. So please get to your homes, people. Why are you all freezing? Well, for one, I don't have any coats, so that's not helping. This is demonstrating the importance of coats. Because if they get caught out far away, which all these people are going to harvest stone and iron, so they're running a long way, and unfortunately, instead of just getting inside to get warm, like, hey, should we run inside this Forester Lodge to get warm, or run inside this person's house over here to get warm? No, let's run all the way home to our abode. All the way over here, where we will freeze to death because we took too long to get home. Thankfully, they're all getting warm, though. Mostly. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Now this person's already cold and running all the way back. Don't die, Sora Madam. Alright, I think crisis has been averted. We only lost 2 people to freezing to death because they were just being dumb. Oh, this guy's selling us coats. Unfortunately, 12 is not going to last more than a couple seconds. It's not worth the ale to throw at it, so we're just going to dismiss him. and just hope that eventually this stuff will be built. Let's slow this down before something else tragic happens. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for part 4.